Hey there. I truly appreciate you watching this. It means more than you know. And if you decide to subscribe, well, that would really make my day. Anyway, let's get into it. When everything began, the day looked like any other. You wouldn't have noticed anything strange unless you understood Vanessa Delaney like I did. She came in from her workout dressed in her usual navy blue gym outfit, damp with sweat, humming softly. But something about her, the choreography of her movements, too polished, too rehearsed, gave me pause. My hand stopped mid-air, coffee mug hovering just shy of my lips. She brushed a kiss on my cheek and tossed her gym bag down the hall. "Workout go okay?" I asked, glancing between her and the spreadsheets on my laptop. "Brutal," she laughed. "Josh put me through this new leg routine. I won't be able to walk tomorrow." Josh. There he was again, casual as a weather update. That was the 12th time she'd said his name in the past 7 days. And the way she said it, soft, affectionate, familiar. The tone she used to reserve for talking about me before I became a background detail in my own life. I should have confronted her. I should have acknowledged the way she radiated something new, something that wasn't from squats or sprints. But I didn't. I shut my laptop, gave a neutral nod, and said, "Glad it worked." She walked off, already buried in her phone, mentally checked out. That night, she stayed late at work. Again, and that's how the pattern began. I noticed her perfume would enter the room before she did, notes of cologne I'd never bought, traces of aftershave that didn't belong to me. Her alibi started to stretch thin. Gym delays, office emergencies, wine nights with work friends. I didn't interrogate her. I waited. I needed clarity. By the end of the second week, I had a name: Josh A. Kincaid. I found him through the gym's Instagram. Trainer, former athlete, divorced, with 2 kids he rarely visited. I set up a fake profile and hired Crystal Delgado, a private investigator out of Vegas, sharp, discreet, and utterly relentless. By week 3, I had what I needed, though I almost couldn't stomach it. Photos of her and Josh at a steakhouse, her hand draped over his thigh like it belonged there. His beat-up Dodge Ram parked in our driveway, 11:32 on a Wednesday morning, while she claimed she was with her sister in Tempe. But the image that finally broke me wasn't public. It was private, intimate. It was them in our bedroom, tangled in our sheets, her face lit with something that looked like salvation. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just stopped. Then I started planning. That night I prepared her favorite meal: truffle Alfredo, fresh garlic bread, a chilled Pinot Noir. She kissed my cheek, told me I was thoughtful. I smiled. Then I installed 3 hidden mics. One slipped into her purse, one taped beneath the bed frame, one discreetly placed in the bathroom vent. If she was going to desecrate our home, I would make it the stage for her unraveling. The next morning, I started a folder on my desktop: Operation Thorn. By night 2, audio files began trickling in, ordinary conversations laced with quiet betrayal. Laughter I hadn't heard in years, secrets whispered in rooms I paid for. It didn't hurt the way I thought it would. It felt surgical, like watching something familiar slowly turn to vapor. Then came the bathroom clip. She didn't realize how clearly sound carried through the vent. "I think he suspects something," Vanessa murmured, with a flirty sharpness in her tone. Josh responded, gravel in his voice. "Didn't you say he's just some finance guy?" Probably too buried in his spreadsheets to notice. I paused the playback. A finance guy. That's all I was to her. Not a cyber forensics expert, not a timeline reconstruction specialist, not someone who can extract truth from metadata and silence. Josh had no idea who he was up against. That was his first mistake. By the 5th week, I had built a profile on Josh that even his ex-wife didn't know. He owed thousands in gambling debt, had 2 businesses in Nevada, both failures, nearly 2 years behind on child support. His gym? Just a front for black market hormone supplements and anabolic sales. I printed every file, stored them in a fireproof envelope marked collateral. But what destroyed me wasn't the affair. It was the scheme. Vanessa wasn't just unfaithful. She was engineering her escape. "I called Jenna," she said in one of the recordings. "Her lawyer in Scottsdale says we could make a strong case. If I say I felt emotionally abandoned, we might even qualify for support." She was going to try for the house. Our home. Josh snickered. "Maybe more. Investments, stocks, that crypto crap he's into. The same house I rebuilt from the studs up after my father died? This wasn't adultery. This was premeditated theft, slow and deliberate. So I changed the game. I contacted attorneys in secret, transferred certain accounts into irrevocable trusts, pulled out the prenup and studied every clause. Vanessa never bothered with fine print. I made sure I did. Clause 7. Any verified extramarital relationship voids the agreement. Clause 9C. Any proven fraud, deceit, or manipulation forfeits all marital assets. She signed that contract 6 years ago, completely unaware she was handing me every weapon I'd ever need. I didn't need to shout. I just had to strike precisely. October arrived with deceptive sunshine. She started attending yoga retreats on weekends. Came back glowing, slick with lavender oil, phone glued to her side or hidden under her pillow. I didn't question it. I didn't need to. Every lie was another gear turning in my quiet machine. But a plan without a climax is just theory. I needed a finale and an audience. So I set the bait. I texted Josh from a masked number. "Her husband knows. You're being tracked. Move fast or lose everything." I traced the IP, watched as he opened the message. No reply. But 2 hours later, Vanessa stormed in, panicked. "Did you go through my phone?" "No," I said, calmly chopping vegetables. "What?" she demanded, searching my face for answers. And she found it. I wasn't lying. I didn't need her phone. I had access to her cloud backups. That weekend, I invited Miles Keegan over. Drinks, some light chatter. Vanessa liked Miles. Thought he was harmless. Just a chatty legal guy with an irritating voice. What she didn't know was that Miles was already compiling my legal strategy. Every document, every timestamp, every betrayal, carefully organized for the storm ahead. We were spread out on the patio, Vanessa cradling her wine like it was a prop, Miles tossing out benign conversation starters. "So," he said with casual interest, "how's the whole marriage thing treating you?" She gave a textbook smile, the kind you practice in mirrors. "It's great," she said without missing a beat. "He's buried in work, I stay busy. We balance things out." Miles gave a low laugh, amused. "That's the secret, huh? 2 separate lives under one roof." I nearly let out a laugh because he wasn't wrong. Later that night, once Vanessa disappeared upstairs, Miles hung back for a while, exactly 15 minutes. "You've got her trapped," he said, flipping through the files I handed over. "The prenup's airtight. She's cornered. With this, you won't just win, you'll crush her." I gave a small nod. No emotion, no joy. Just a measured, strategic calm. The following morning, Vanessa threw a duffel bag into her car for what she called a girls' weekend in Sedona with her old college roommates. 3 hours after she hit the road, a charge lit up our joint credit card. Not for Sedona, not even close. It was a boutique hotel in downtown Phoenix. Room 410, reserved under the name Josh Kincaid. Everything clicked into place. I printed every receipt, time-stamped every surveillance video, layered chat screenshots over synced audio clips. Then I assembled 5 matching manila folders. One for my lawyer, one for the attorney Vanessa hadn't hired yet but was clearly considering, one for Josh's ex, one for his parole officer, and one to keep for myself. It was time. On Monday, I walked into the house with a folder under my arm and an unshakable resolve. Vanessa was in the kitchen, pretending to flip through a cookbook she never used. "Vanessa," I said flatly, "we need to talk." She glanced up, already annoyed. "Now?" "Parker, seriously? Can't this wait till after brunch?" I laid the folder on the countertop. The photo on top said everything. Josh's tattooed hand on her waist, in our home. Her laughing face on our bed. Beneath that, audio transcripts, stapled and annotated. Her skin lost all color. She reached for the folder with shaky hands. What is this?" "The truth," I replied. The thing you stopped offering a long time ago. I can explain, she murmured, her lip gloss catching the light as she struggled to keep composure. No, I said, cutting her off. I'm past explanations. I have the footage, the messages, the proof. You were spying on me? She whispered, almost horrified. Not spying, I answered. I was documenting, watching the woman I married morph into someone unrecognizable. I was building cover for the storm you brought. Her eyes darted like a trapped animal's. What are you going to do with all this? I leaned in close. My voice was low, sharp. I'm giving you what you clearly wanted, freedom, but not the champagne-soaked version you dreamed of. No alimony, no vacation homes, just your name and whatever fits in a suitcase. She opened her mouth. Nothing came out. And for the record, I added, you could have just told me you weren't happy, but instead you plotted, you lied, you laughed behind my back, with him, the guy who used to slam me into lockers in high school. Her jaw dropped. You knew him? I did, I said. And now? Now I know you too. She didn't speak. And for the first time in years, I walked away, leaving her to sit in the rubble of her own betrayal. She didn't go out that day. No brunch, no errands, not even a breath of air. She sat in the living room, motionless, the folder resting on her knees. Sometimes I caught her glancing toward the door, maybe thinking Josh would come rescue her. But he wasn't coming. Because that same morning he received a copy of the folder. Tucked inside was a note. You enjoy ruining lives. Let's see what it's like when someone fights back. That evening my phone rang. Blocked number, I let it go. Then the text started. All from Vanessa. Parker, please, we need to talk. It's not what it looks like. I'm scared. Good. By Thursday, her cousin Jenna reached out, asking if I'd been threatening Vanessa. I sent one response. I'm not threatening her, I'm setting her free. On Friday, Vanessa's yoga instructor abruptly shuttered his studio for maintenance. Turns out the city's health department got an anonymous tip, complete with photos. Moldy closets, unlabeled powders, banned substances. I didn't send the tip, but I know who did. Rebecca Kincaid, Josh's ex. He'd left her with debt, kids, and a house falling apart. We met for coffee the week before. She cried for 10 solid minutes. Then she handed me everything I'd need to destroy Josh with his own secrets. I always knew he was bad news, she whispered, but I didn't think he'd find someone to sharpen the knife for him. Well, I said, now you do. Together, we plotted every move. The confrontation did happen, though probably not the way Vanessa and Josh had pictured it. No yelling, no pleading, no breakdowns, just precision. It was Sunday. I made sure the house was wired, cameras rolling, audio clean, multiple angles. Vanessa walked in with Josh, trying to appear calm. But her body betrayed her, stiff posture, twitchy fingers. Josh wore that same smug grin he used to wear while calling me pencil boy. You think any of this holds up in court? He laughed. You're weak, Parker, always were. She deserves better, he added. Like you, I asked. He stepped forward. Yeah, me. I make her feel alive. I didn't flinch. Congratulations, because after today you'll be feeling plenty. He raised an eyebrow. Like what? Subpoenas, IRS investigations, federal charges, cinder block walls. The smirk disappeared. Vanessa looked between us, confused. What are you talking about? I hit a button. Behind me, the TV came to life. Security footage. Hotel lobbies, bedroom angles, parking lots, kitchens. Every deception, every affair, broadcast in 4K. Her knees buckled. She dropped into a chair, stunned. Josh's hands curled into fists. You're crazy. No, I said. I'm meticulous. I've been watching while you assumed I was blind. I handed them each a folder. Inside, transcripts, bank statements, the prenup, police reports from Rebecca, gym photos with illegal steroids. The authorities already have copies, I said. They're reviewing the evidence. But today is your only window. A window? Vanessa echoed. Leave, I said. Now. Or I hit send and every one of these files goes out. Your clients, your brands, your jobs, your reputations, gone. Josh stepped closer. You don't have the guts. I held up my phone. It lit up instantly. My thumb's right here, I said. One tap and your world goes down in flames. Exposed, viral, irreversible. A stillness fell, a frozen breath hanging in the air. Then Vanessa moved. Her body swayed upright, her eyes distant, her voice barely a whisper. I never meant for this to happen. I kept my voice cool, razor sharp. No, you just wanted everything, and now there's nothing left. Josh turned to her, his face twisted in scorn. You said you had it under control. I didn't realize it would, she faltered, struggling to speak. You didn't think I'd finally stop letting you trample me? I said flatly. But the man who let that happen, he's gone. Josh was the first to leave. The door slammed so hard the walls shook. Vanessa remained where she stood, trembling and lost, as if untethered from reality. What do I even do now? She murmured. I looked straight at her, unwavering. That's not my problem anymore. And then I walked away. The house changed after they left, quieter in a way that felt unnatural. No more clacking heels on hardwood, no more hushed lies whispered in the next room, no more deceit hidden behind clouds of steam, just silence, the kind of silence that only makes itself known after the storm passes. I didn't chase after her, didn't make calls, didn't feel victorious. Instead, I started to scrub every inch of the house. I gathered all her things, packed them carefully, each box marked and stacked neatly by the door. The final item was her unworn wedding gown. Spotless, untouched since the fitting. Ironic, really. The person it was meant for never truly existed. Just a facade concealing something rotten beneath. By Monday, I'd filed the divorce papers. My attorney rushed everything through, citing immediate cause. She was served in a run-down one-bedroom not far from a roadside diner. The same diner where, according to the documents I had, she'd just picked up a waitressing job. Her cousin Jenna tried calling me again. I let it go to voicemail. 3 weeks passed, and Josh Kincaid was arrested. It was a full-blown federal sting. DEA, IRS, state agents. His gym lit up the local news as officers swarmed the place. Someone must have dropped a dime. Rebecca Kincaid reached out the next day. I cried when I saw it on TV, she admitted. Not out of sorrow, more like relief, like something finally ended. I knew that feeling well. The divorce sped forward. Her attorney looked over the evidence, went pale, and pushed for a fast resolution. Vanessa arrived looking like a shadow of who she used to be. Her cheeks were hollow, hair thrown up without care, her face stripped bare. The fire in her eyes had vanished. She couldn't even look at me. I'm sorry, she said, voice cracking. I know I don't deserve to say it, but I needed to. I'm not angry, I told her calmly. She stared at me, puzzled. You're not? No, I replied. It's worse. I feel nothing. Her lips quivered. Then she nodded. She picked up the pen and signed. No alimony, no division, nothing. As she turned to leave, she paused. I hope you find someone better, she said softly. I already have, I replied. Who? Myself. Half a year later, I left the city behind for good and moved into a cabin tucked near Bluewood Lake, 2 hours outside Phoenix. 40 acres of quiet, pines rising like sentinels. A view so breathtaking it felt like nature's apology. The cybersecurity firm I once ran out of a shoebox apartment had taken off. Now I chose my clients carefully. Mostly survivors. People whose trust had been shattered by the ones closest to them. They called me the digital bloodhound. I called it making things right. One foggy morning, an envelope showed up. No return address. Inside, a handwritten letter. Parker, you probably won't even read this. Maybe it's already in the fire. Still, I need to say it. I didn't deserve the love you gave so freely. I destroyed it because I was broken, thinking someone else could fix me. But instead, he shattered what little was left. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just want you to know. I remember every kind word, every moment you chose empathy over ego, all those honest moments I never earned. I hope you're happy now. I really do. I'm still learning how to live without hurting people. Vanessa, I read it once, then let it fall into the flames. Not from bitterness, not from spite, but because I was finally free. Entirely, peacefully free. That evening, I sat out on the porch, coffee warm in my hands, watching the sun slide below the treetops, its light bleeding gold across the surface of the lake. A text lit up my phone. Maria, a college friend who had become much more, was driving up for the weekend. We never spoke of the past. She didn't ask questions. She loved the man I had become, and that was enough. Her next message popped up. Grabbing wine, red or white? I smiled. Surprise me. I'm done planning things. Tonight, I just want peace. And as the breeze danced through the pines and the loons called from across the water, a truth settled deep within me. Peace is louder than revenge ever was. And in the end, I didn't win by fighting back. I won by letting go and keeping my soul whole.